I shouldn't be saying this. I know what silence costs. I wore it like a coat for years, and it chewed me from the inside out. If I disappear after this, please remember one thing. I didn't run because I lied. I ran because I finally told the truth. All names are changed, places too. The pattern isn't. I was an audio tech. Best kind. My job was to make whispers sound like thunder. You put me in a room with power. I became air. No one sees the microphone guy. That was the point. Be a ghost, my mentor Frank always said. Ghosts live longer. He lied, but I don't blame him. He tried. We were preparing for a high-level meeting at Raven House. It's the kind of building where even the air feels intentional. Velvet footsteps, portraits with eyes that track you. Everyone smiles like they're allergic to teeth. I carried a case of mics that cost more than my car and less than a single chair in that room. A week before, in Brussels, Frank had pulled me aside while we tuned a parabolic dish. His hands were steady, then they weren't. You're too good, he told me. That's the problem. I laughed. Compliments hurt less when you turn them into jokes. He didn't smile. You'll hear a sound one day, he said. It hides between words, like a mosquito behind a wall. Your ears can't catch it, but our gear can. If it shows up, delete it. Don't isolate, don't clean, don't get curious. Curiosity is a knife you hold by the blade. Delete. I promised. Then Raven House happened. 6 people at the table, 2 advisors hovering, curtains tight, carpets heavy. I sat in the booth behind mirrored glass, leveling gain. I watched their mouths. I watched their hands. Power always talks with its fingers. And then the room took a breath. Silence. 2 seconds. And I heard it. Not a fan, not a fridge, not a 60 hertz buzz. This was alive. Low. Wet. My bones listened more than my ears did. My teeth hummed like tuning forks. My thumb found the delete key. It pressed. It stalled. Curiosity is a knife. I squeezed. I opened a spectrogram. I expected snow. I saw a shape. It wasn't random. It looked like a spiral that refused to be perfect. Bent geometry. Like a galaxy dying, captured on a napkin. The sound came from one man's lapel mic. He had a forgettable face, like someone your brain deletes to save memory. His tie was a deep, emerald iridescent the way beetles are. Expensive the way quiet is. The meeting ended. Power stood. Power shook hands. Power left. The air uncoiled. I packed cables that suddenly felt like snakes. Something small glinted on the Persian rug. Not a paperclip. Not a pin you buy in a gift shop. Matte black metal, cold as a lie. Spiral shape, not quite right, with a tiny red dot in the center that looked like an LED without a future. It didn't reflect light, it ate it. Protocol said, turn it in. Frank's voice said, pretend you didn't see it. I listened to the man who had never been wrong until he was. I pocketed the spiral and walked out into a gray day that felt like the sky holding in a scream. At home, I put the pin under a lamp. The lamp made shadows. The pin made none. I took photos. Reverse search returned nothing. Nothing can be louder than sound. I cropped the spiral and started looking for cousins. Old books, alchemy scribbles, banned PDFs with stains scanned into them, deep forums where usernames die young. They called it a lot of things. The traveler's mark, the seal that eats light. Mostly nonsense. But nonsense repeats when it remembers something true. A meteorite nerd had posted about a fragment from a desert metal that stayed too cold, too dense, giving off a nearly undetectable hum. He drew the spiral next to his rock like he knew it, but didn't know he knew it. This was the moment fear grew legs. I had one piece of real meat, 2 seconds of that hum, saved to a separate drive because my curiosity has bad manners. What if the sound spoke to the pin? What if the pin wasn't jewelry, but a throat? I shut the blinds. I sealed the room. I fed the hum into an amp and aimed it at the spiral. The red dot blinked once, like an eye trying patience. The air vibrated. The ocean lived in my wall. On my monitor, the old meeting replayed. For a breath, the man's face turned into liquid. Skin slicked, eyes narrowed into dark vertical slits. His jaw unhinged, not wide, but wrong. One frame, then back. I froze. I rewound. I looked away. I looked back. I tried to tell myself compression can do ugly things. My brain nodded because it wanted to keep living. My gut threw up in silence. Then I saw it. Across the table sat the one everyone called the gatekeeper. Public smile like a lock, private eyes like keys. He wasn't watching the speaking man. He was looking straight into the security camera, the camera whose feed I was watching. And when the glitch came, he didn't flinch. He smiled. Not broad, not cruel. A small smile you give a friend across a funeral. And for a single ghost frame, his eyes flickered too. Not human, then human again. Like a mask that slips because it trusts gravity too much. My door lock clicked. Soft sound. A coin behind a door. My body moved before my mind signed the forms. Laptop into bag. Drive into jacket. Spiral into pocket. Window open. Second floor. Bad landing. Good adrenaline. I limped into the dark with the hum still vibrating my fillings. Frank didn't answer his phone. His apartment didn't answer the question of him. Closets empty. Drawers hollow. It looked like a stage set. Even the dust felt edited. They didn't just take Frank. They subtracted him. Ghosts live longer, he said. Ghosts also vanish easier. My name went missing next. Bank said my account never existed, like the last few years were a fanfiction I wrote alone. Emails died. Social profiles dissolved. I learned how to buy coffee with coins and silence. I learned how to sleep in places that don't look like places. I learned the angles of security cameras, the way you learn the freckles on a lover's shoulder. I kept 3 things: the laptop, the drive, the pin. Then a message appeared inside a forum post only Frank would have known how to speak in. It referenced a calibration code we joked about. It said, "Don't clean the silence." It sent me to an abandoned radio station out near the edges where towns give up. Someone had painted the spiral on a peeling wall. Under it, "Run." A package weighted in dust. A fake passport. Some cash. A note in Frank's handwriting. It's not invasion. It's symbiosis. The device is a tuner. It shows the true face. Destroy it. They can track it. Live. Tell it when safe. If safe exists. I took the pin to a bridge and let the river take it. I watched the ripples close like a mouth after a secret. I spread encrypted fragments of the hum across cloud folders named like grocery lists. I kept the laptop. I kept the fear. Time stretched. Years turned to a habit. I kept moving until the calendar stopped mattering. Cities became outfits. Wear one. Drop one. I learned to look like wallpaper. I learned how to be a seat no one chooses. Then Prague. Old Town Square is a stage that pretends it isn't one. A clock performs each hour, and tourists point at time like it's a pet. I sat with coffee that I didn't taste. My brain was a room with a single soundproof door. He came through with handlers like satellites. Young, hungry eyes. A tech saint with clean sneakers and a kingdom in the cloud. The kind of face you see beaming from billboards that promise connection while the world forgets how to hug. He stopped by the cafe. Our eyes met. To him, I was furniture. To me, he was weather. On his lapel, a new design. Not the spiral. Sleek platinum circle with a tiny emerald dot that caught light like a hook. He raised his hand to his assistant. Thumb and index finger made a circle. 3 fingers straight. A casual okay that wasn't casual at all. The air tilted, and the hum came back not from outside, from behind my eyes. It's amazing how loud nothing can be. They didn't end. They rebranded. The old symbol retired like a logo you still see sometimes in dusty corners. The new one smiled on magazine covers. The game didn't change. The skin did. I kept my seat. I kept my face bland. I left cash I couldn't spare. I walked into streets that know too many secrets and held one more. You can stop now, I told myself. You had your proof. You threw it away to live. So live. But the thing about living with a secret is that it becomes your roommate. It eats your groceries and leaves notes on your mirror. It whispers, "I will never leave." And you start to believe it. I started testing again, but quietly. No more pins. Just ears. The hum shows up in places people pretend are quiet. Hospitals at 2 a.m., libraries during rain, churches after funerals. I sat, eyes down, listening for the mosquito behind the wall. When I heard it, I would look up at faces. One frame, wrong. A pupil shivers vertical. A smile locks too wide. A blink goes sideways. You tell yourself it's grief. You tell yourself it's caffeine. You tell yourself anything that lets you stay in the room. Absurd things keep you sane. I found myself ordering coffee and telling the barista, "Make it extra quiet." She laughed and wrote, "Shh," on the cappuccino. I laughed too. We had a moment. Her name tag said Emma. I threw the cup away. I won't pretend I was brave. I wasn't. I was tired. Fear is heavy, but boredom is heavier. The hum had ruined my music. I started wearing earplugs in crowds. I slept with noise shaped like rain. I forgot the lyrics to every song I loved because the chorus inside my head was one long, low note. Then someone sent me a link to a live stream, a global tech summit. Panels about the next human. My favorite kind of ignorance. Expensive. Headliners smiled with the calm of people who pick the maze and the mice. And there he was again, the tech saint with the emerald dot. I watched the stream on a library computer that probably remembered better people. I slowed it to half speed. I turned captions off. I adjusted the EQ until the hum sat like a cat in my lap. He talked about mercy. He talked about connection. He talked about removing friction from life, like friction wasn't the thing that lets you stand. I felt the hum answer from my skull. My tongue tasted copper. The stream dropped one frame, then another. His teeth didn't match for a flicker. The crowd didn't blink. Why would they? Their eyes were full. I couldn't help it. I went to the summit on day 2. Doors yawned for badges and smiles. I wore neither. I followed a vendor carrying 6 boxes and walked in behind his noise. I have a gift for invisibility. It's easier than people think. Confidence is a key. Timid people look like alarms. Backstage feels the same everywhere. Cables, black curtains, people holding tablets like shields. I found a corner near the racks. A sign read, "Audio is God." I smiled. Someone was honest. The keynote rehearsed. The emerald dot man joked with his handler, then went serious, then stood alone like he was practicing being a statue. The hum rose like a tide. I watched the LED meters, not mine, theirs. A thin line appeared at the bottom, almost sleeping. I knew that line now. If I had the tuner, I could have peeled his face off the truth right there. I didn't. Frank was right. The device is a leash, but it pulls both ways. So I did the one thing left to me. I started telling the story. I told the guy at the snack table. He smiled like people smile when they don't want to lose their job. I told the stagehand. She listened, eyes soft, then asked if I needed water. I told a security guard. He said, "Sir, I need you to step outside." So I did. Outside, the city moved like it always does, pretending it doesn't. Pigeons negotiated. A bus hissed. A child laughed the exact way children laugh when they will never remember this moment.